And he says in verse Matthew chapter 28, and Jesus came and spoke unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Now, look at that word power. That means authority. All authority is given unto me in heaven and in earth. Now, does that say all or not? So is there anything left out of all? Right. So can you ever say that Satan has authority? So Satan has no authority at any time. You're correct in saying that. That is true. But yet in the church you've taught, yeah, but I gave him authority. I gave Satan authority by doing this or that. No, you may have weakened your body by doing a certain thing, but you didn't give him authority because you can't give what ain't yours to give. Satan doesn't have authority, and you can't give it. Do you understand that? You can't give it to him especially. So you have to realize that authority is Jesus's, and you get to walk in it, but you can't get rid of it. Okay? Now, you may not walk in it. And see, that's where a lot of people, and I can tell you now, we're not going to have time to go into little bitty details that have a lot of meaning in them, but at the same time, at this point, just don't have the time to go. It would have to be a SWAT 3 or something, I guess. I don't know. SWAT 14. It's starting to be like the Rocky movies. You know, we're going to have SWAT 14 sometime or something. But it has to go back to individual. All of this has to go back to individual warfare. Because if you can't apply it to your everyday life, then it isn't worth the hill of beans. You have to do it every day. And it has to get to a place where these principles operate and you apply them without having to sit down and think about them. And so you're going to have to study this. Now, see, that's why, matter of fact, you can look around and once people find out that this actually involves effort, it's amazing how many people bail. Because we thought you were going to teach us how to do this and, how to not, how you're going to do it for us, or it's all been done and we don't have to do anything. No, because I'd have to lie to you to tell you that. And I'm here to tell you the truth. There is a war, you're going to have to fight it. The good news is it's already been won and you can win. So, but it still doesn't say that you're going to do nothing. That's what the church wants to do most of the time, is put it all back on God and do nothing. And then they want to blame God and say, well, it was a test or it was something else, when in reality it wasn't a test, it was just you wouldn't get up and do what you're supposed to do. So at some point we're going to have to realize that the principles of war are true, and whoever applies them will win. If you don't apply them, they will be applied on you. Right? So this isn't you really don't have a lot of choice in this. You're going to have to learn to be effective soldiers for Jesus Christ. Now, he says in verse 19, go ye therefore. Why? Because he has all authority. So if you're going to go, you're going in his authority, not yours. Right? So basically what you should be saying every time you go somewhere, well, see, I got to keep interjecting little things before I get to this other point. I will actually complete a whole sentence sometime during this conference. So, why change now, though? It's worked for me so far, right? So, you have to realize, though, that when you do what Jesus tells you to do, as far as heaven and hell are concerned, it ain't you doing it. You're doing it in his name. It's just as if Jesus were standing there. Do you notice he didn't say, all power has been given unto me, and if you have enough faith, you can make it work? He didn't say that, did he? You know why? Because then you'd make a God out of faith. Whoops, too late. We've already done that. And then we turn around and say, well, I don't know if I have enough faith for that, and then you don't even try. And you need to get off the idea of faith as some thing and realize that faith is nothing more than saying, you know what, he said it, I believe it, that's it. Simple as that. Well, I don't know if I have enough faith. Have enough faith what? You believe the Word of God? Yep. Then you got enough faith. If you tell me you don't have enough faith, what you're saying is you don't believe the Word of God. And really what you're saying is I don't believe the Word of God enough to stand when opposition rises up. Because believe me, opposition is going to rise up. That's the nature of the field we're in. Right? This whole earth is in battle. The whole earth, it even says in Romans, is groaning, awaiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. It groans. It's waiting. It wants to see it. It wants to see us grow. Why? Because then we're going to be able to take the curse that's on the earth off of the earth.